from Boston and beyond. Heat981fm.com and iHeartStation.
Tonight's episode of Conversations with Coach La is brought to you by Virtual Services by Shamina Austin. Do you need to delegate some tasks, or are you looking to declutter a space? Well, assign it to her. Introducing Virtual Services by Shamina Austin. She's currently accepting new clients and offers a variety of back office services depending on your needs. Contact Shamina at 857-273-1528, 857-273-1528, or email shaminaaustin@gmail.com for more information.
Conversations with Coach La.
Coach La, your favorite neighborhood therapist, having real hard convos, contrasting pessimists, generational trauma explored, broach delicate, getting to the root of the pain, healing impediments. Every week signs copay free lessons. Bet on self, trust the process, no questions. Feel your feels, journey to be healed, no stressing. Conversations with Coach La's now in session.
What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Coach La. What y'all doing? How y'all feeling? It's a beautiful day here in Boston, Massachusetts. Woo! The snow tried to get us. So as y'all know, last week we were supposed to go live with my guests, but due to a blizzard, because y'all know I can't stand the winter, we had to make a little pivot, make a little adjustment. So we are here tonight. I know tonight we got a lot going on. The Grammys is going on. Folks is probably watching football. Is football tonight? I think people watching no football tonight because next week is the Super Bowl and the Patriots are in the Super Bowl. Isn't that exciting? Super exciting. Shout out to everybody who's tuned in on iHeartRadio, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I appreciate y'all. Anywho, right? So we are going to be having a special guest on here with me tonight, and we're going to be talking about joy as a resistance. And y'all know that, in case you didn't know, this is Conversations with Coach La right here live on the Urban Heat. And every Sunday, we talk about all things mental health, all things that help us cope and just navigate this world that we are all living in. So I'm trying to bring us back up on Urban Heat page. I think I was successful, y'all. So shout out to everybody on the Urban Heat page. And so what have I been up to? So it has been a busy January. Shout out to my sister Shamina, who celebrated her 47th birthday. She's kept me really busy outside. Y'all might have noticed that as we were, so there's something going on with the Urban Heat page, y'all. I'm so sorry. I'll have to troubleshoot it later, but it looks like there's some issues. Anyway, if you are on Urban Heat and you are unable to watch the show live, check us out on Instagram, therapist_Coach LA, or you can also go to YouTube at IamCoachLaw.com because I'm not sure what's going on with the Facebook side of the Urban Heat page. All right, so tonight's guest, what we are going to be talking about is his journey. Some of you in Boston may have already heard about this story, but let me tell you a little bit about Mr. Joseph Bennett because I just finished watching Murder in Boston, the documentary, and it definitely was something that was triggering for me. In 1989, I believe I was in the 8th grade and I went to Mission High. Some people may remember Mission High. But I was an 8th grader and I remember the chaos, and I had a lot of friends that lived in Mission Hill. So Joseph Bennett was actually born and raised in Roxbury neighborhood in Boston. For people that don't know, Boston is a very unique place. We're made up of a bunch of different neighborhoods. And he's from Mission Hill Housing Development. Those who know him well, family and friends included, they know him as Two, which hopefully he'll tell me how he got this name. Also in the documentary, I found out a lot of his family have nicknames. And last week, or 2 weeks ago, y'all found out what my nickname was because my sister disclosed it on the show. But he's also known by the name of Joey. But during his childhood, something really traumatic happened. But Joseph and his family experienced their first encounter with social injustice and racism. here in Boston, Massachusetts, by the Boston police in 1989, when his uncle, Willie Bennett, was falsely accused of murder. Some of you guys may remember the Charles and Carol Stewart case, which is now infamous. You actually may have seen it made local and national headlines, and there's a documentary on HBO that's all about this case. And so, as you know, his uncle was wrongly accused, and we came to find out that the man killed his wife, and then he committed suicide. Anyways, go watch the documentary. I'm not going to give y'all all the details. But what's interesting about this story is that, unfortunately, in 1993, time would repeat itself, and young Joseph actually found himself in a similar situation where he was falsely accused of a stabbing at Morning Star Baptist Church. Now, he wasn't charged with this crime, and he was able to move on and try to move on with his life and stop looking over his shoulders. But unfortunately, 1997, it reared its ugly head again. And unfortunately, this case actually did result in him being incarcerated for 22 years for being falsely accused once more of a second-degree murder at a Boston nightclub. So you can just imagine the trauma that Mr. Bennett has gone through. In 2019, he did get bailed out, and since then, what's really beautiful about his story is that since his release, he has made a commitment to building partnerships and improving the quality of life for inner-city African-American youth and men of color in Boston. His mission has been to share his story and provide services to those who are in need, with the intention of breaking the cycle of mass minority incarceration. We got to really give a hand clap for that. So Joseph is a passionate and dedicated to healing through transformative justice by spreading awareness and addressing the issues that affect Black and brown men of color being imprisoned, and the long-term effects that those have within our households and our communities. So I am super excited to bring my guests on camera to have this conversation with me on the virtual couch. How you doing, Mr. Bennett, Mr. Joey, Mr. Two? Welcome to the virtual couch with your favorite runaway therapist, Coach La La La. How you feeling?
I'm good.
You good? I'm glad you made it. You know, we was running by the seat of our pants today, but we here.
No, I was on time.
Oh, okay. Well, listen here. We gonna stay being real nice to each other. We ain't gonna start off already, but I was running by my seat of my pants. Put it that way. I forgot a few things, so he was patient with me. I appreciate your patience.
I appreciate you.
You know, I appreciate you being here. Long time coming. So, should I call you too, Joey? What you prefer?
No, call me Joey.
All right, Joey. Yeah, you don't want Joey. Do the women call you too?
No.
Yeah, that's just your family and friends.
Yeah.
I can't be your friend.
I mean, you cool, but I'm just saying, like.
You knew I was gonna ask you.
That nickname is rooted in so much negativity that I try to get away from it.
Oh, okay. Well, I can understand that. So, Joey, or Mr. Bennett, as I like to call you.
Or Yardtime.
Yardtime, which we're going to get into. But
Okay.
I have a question for you. And I ask everybody who comes on the show. You have an extensive Google search. You know, you type your name in, all kinds of stuff comes up from your Instagram, your website, just interviews you have with other people. What's something that you want the audience and people to know that maybe no one's asked you before, they'd be surprised to know about you? Who is Joseph Bennett beyond what you see in social media and what you see in his bio?
Who is Joseph Bennett? I'm a father. I'm a grandfather. Someone that's just trying to change the narrative on my life story and the conversations that's been going on in my life and how people project and see me.
Well said. I would say, seeing that I had no idea who you were prior to the work you've been doing in the community, that you've been pretty successful in doing that, sir. At least on my end, I would say.
I mean, honestly, like, before I was incarcerated, before all the exposure, the attention, media exposure, all that, like, I felt like I was always a leader. So, you know what I'm saying? I always knew how to carry myself in a manner where people would listen, respect, and understand and follow me. You know what I'm saying? It's just at that point when I was growing up, it was just used more negative as opposed to positive.
You know, they have this concept called nature versus nurture, right? And we were talking about how we were going to navigate this show, and it was something that wasn't in what I originally thought about, but when you mentioned just being a leader and it being taken in a negative, right? And you think about nature versus nurture, just the environment of that time. We had the crack epidemic. We just had so much going on that leadership and being able to lead, people didn't always make it a positive, but when you really think about it, look what you're doing now, right? You didn't have to get released and start Yardtime and do all of the things that you've been doing. So I'm not surprised that you're saying that you've always been a leader.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely see that.
I appreciate
you know?
that.
Yeah, you've been able to do some really amazing work with rallying men in a positive way to support them and probably not being re-incarcerated again because they have community.
So I was a young man that was like in and out of the juvenile system, the justice system, adult incarceration. So, you know, once I was sentenced to life in prison, I spent the 22 years of my life in prison. I shouldn't have been here, but, you know, sometimes for me, I say it saved my life. But for a lot of other people, they wouldn't look at it like that. Like, you don't have to go to jail to save your life. But yeah, for me, I went to jail to save my life wrongfully. But,
yeah, I can feel you. There's a quote I love, right? That sometimes our biggest opportunities come disguised as bad news. And so I was curious about what prompted you to be released. And the first thing you said, because they asked you a question, you were on the hugging your daughter, actually. And the first words out of your mouth was, all I want is positivity. I appreciate my family and my friends sticking by me. And all I want to do now is just look forward and be positive. And I was like, what an answer, right? He was like, I have no hate. I have no negativity. And how did you get to that place? Because most people would be resentful and upset and angry and want to get back.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when I did that interview, that was how I felt. You know, I still feel like that because I come from a place where I'm very comfortable with anger, frustration, things of that nature that's going to cause me to make bad decisions. And when I got out, I just felt like there was no reason for me to hate no one. You know what I'm saying? There was no reason for me to be angry. There was only reason for me to be happy and enjoy life and look forward to the rest of my life. So that's why when you heard me say that, I meant that. Like, I can't be bitter and angry towards people that put me in the situation I was in.
I think, you know, there's a cheat code to life, and it's gratitude. And what I loved about what you said is that you looked at the positive. I'm out. Like all of that, I'm out. I'm hugging my daughter, and right now, this is the moment I'm in. Is that I'm grateful for this moment. And I think a lot of people struggle with being able to hold space for both things. There's some people that feel like because society, in a lot of ways, there's still a lot of things that are not the way we want it to be, that we shouldn't have joy, right? That we should be still in a place of wanting to just fight, because if not, then we're complacent, right? Because things are not good, right? But they're better than they used to be. And as I was watching that documentary, I said, wow, we lived through that, right? Stop and frisk, we lived through the crack epidemic. We lived through most of the places that now has buildings and stop and shop. Those were just abandoned fields with beat up cars and tires. Like, we grew up in some conditions and we didn't even know it was bad conditions. You said that, you was like, I didn't think Mission Hill was bad. I had a lot of fun, right? But looking back at the pictures, I'm like, man, we really was in the ghetto. It was. But
no,
bad.
like I said, like growing up in Mission Hill projects, like it was you know, people from the outside looking in, yeah, it was bad. It was really the ghetto. It really was. But at the same time, just growing up in that neighborhood, it just like gave me so much more of like family orientated. Like everybody looked out for each other in that neighborhood. Like we all was friends, close families, and you know, we took care of one another. It didn't matter who you was or whose family you was all family. We was all Mission Hill.
Yeah. You know what's interesting, right? And some people are going to push back on this, but I told you I'm really a licensed therapist. But I think back to us growing up in that time and how many kids was latchkey kids, how many kids' parents was on drugs, and so many more of us probably should have ended up like in DCF custody, and we didn't because of community. You know what I mean? There was
yeah, I was that kid. You know, my mom's had lost custody of me and my brother, and my grandmother had took us in. That's when I actually felt what love was. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mention
like,
that.
Yeah, I'm always gonna mention that.
Yeah.
I'm always gonna mention that because that's who first showed me what love felt like. And my grandmother.
Yeah. And you know, that documentary, I shed some tears. It was so many. There was just so many moments, and God rest her soul, so many moments, right, of what your family had to endure and go through. And the city of Boston still really hasn't made right with a lot of people who they wrongfully incarcerated, because you're not the only individual that we hear stories of this, because the police department was so corrupt, so racist. There was a lot of bigotry. They didn't really care too much. You know, they still don't, but you know, we'll hold that to the side. I have some family and friends that are Boston police officers, so I know that they want to make a difference. So I don't want to lump them all together, and I don't want to generalize. But there was one white guy that was in that documentary.
Oh, Bill Dunn.
Oh, he was. It's okay. He was such a he was a pompous, arrogant, narcissist. And he still felt like, you know, he was in the right. He didn't take no accountability. He even turned around and said, you know, he wanted old Boston back, and he wanted to, you know, his heart went out to the police officers now because it ain't the same. And there was a black man who said, thank God it's not, and tell him that I said that. So people don't realize Boston, all great, is definitely a very racist town in a lot of ways. There's been some improvements, but we still got a lot of work to do. So I say all of that to say, for you to come and to demonstrate that, where you could have been angry, you could have wanted to get back, you could have been on a whole nother campaign. You actually took all of that, turned it around, and created Yardtime. So talk to us a little bit about Yardtime and what keeps you going with that.
I'm saying, so I say this all the time, but when I didn't get my visits, when I didn't get no mail, when I couldn't get through on my phone calls, the next best thing that I had for joy was when the officers, the COs, yelled Yardtime. You know what I'm saying? So when they yelled Yardtime, and I used to go into the yard, I used to put headphones on like these ones. PTSD moment, but headphones on like these ones.
I'm sorry. Do you need a hug?
Nah, that's good.
I'm good. I'm good.
Nah, I'm good. You know, so I used to put my headphones on in my music, and I used to walk the yard. Like I used to walk the track. I used to have fun. I used to just, you know, I was the fat man. You know what I'm saying? I was the old head that had time in, that young boys used to be like, yo, you always trying to, you know, dance in the yard, walk in the yard. And I used to be like, you know, one day I'm gonna get out of this situation. One day I'm gonna get from behind this situation. And, you know, I'm just practicing my dance moves so that when I get to get free, I'm gonna dance on the courtroom steps.
And that is exactly what you did.
I did.
And I think every award, one of the things I really love is seeing a black man smile. And with all of the things that you've been through,
I'm
to
crying
know-
now. Like
okay,
I'm just trying to keep it together.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Well, I'm
like,
not sorry
it's,
like
it's,
that way, but I'm saying, right, the one thing we have is when they can't take your heart and your joy. They say, do the time, don't let the time do you.
Yeah.
And I think you represent that in so many different ways.
I mean, shout out to all the guys, man. Free the guys. Like, honestly, like, my time doing was different than a lot of guys. Like, I figured it out. Like, I would have still been in jail. I tell people the movie Planet of the Apes, Rise of the Apes, that was like my inspiration. Like, no human being could inspire me while I was incarcerated, because I carried myself in a different manner than a lot of the other guys that was locked up. So I was my own inspiration, but I couldn't find inspiration in trying to figure out how to get myself back in the court. You know, I was like a lot of the guys that went to prison that, you know, played basketball, skipped law library, you know what I'm saying, things like that. But then there was a time where a lot of the individuals I knew would come in and out of prison, and I used to get tired of seeing them come in and out. And I used to always say, like, yo, just sub in for 5 years. Just if you want to keep coming back, just sit for 5 years and let me get out for 5 years, and I'll make sure you're good, because you keep coming back into here. Like, I can't keep looking at you like this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you squandering all your opportunities, and I just want one more opportunity to prove myself in society. Like, I got a plan. Like, you know what I'm saying? One thing prison has taught me was, like, to plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you fail to plan, then, you know, prison taught me to plan. Like, so I had to figure that thing out. And when I seen the movie Planet of the Apes, it was like so motivational, like inspirational. It, you know, if you go back and look at it, you know, there was a individual, I won't say who, but there was an individual that came to visit me and told me that he believed that the district attorney and the Boston police told him that they got the right person and that he couldn't help me get out. So when I went back to my cell, that movie was on, and like seeing that movie and just, you know, I figured it out. That's all I can say. For my guys that was with me, they know what that means. I just figured it out. Like, I just had to find ways to put my case back out in society, people to know. Like, it's sad because there's a lot of people that see me now that really is on my paperwork, that really helped the Commonwealth put me in prison. But again, like I said to you, I forgive them. I'm not even bitter.
Yeah.
I got every reason to be bitter towards them people. Like, I'm not.
Right. You know, I brought up nature versus nurture because sometimes, and after listening to that police officer in the documentary, it's almost like, well, we got to get you for something, right? Like, it was almost like a target on your head that in their mind, you were already criminal. They just had to find something, right? Even if they had to pin it on you, it was going to get you for something eventually. And that's what it felt like. It's like they was just adamant, you know, to find something at some point.
So hold on, can I stop? Like, when you opened up, you said that I was arrested for the Morning Star stabbing, shooting, whatever they want to call it.
Yeah.
But I was never formally charged. I was formally charged.
No,
I was charged.
I meant convicted.
I wasn't convicted,
right,
because the district attorney had to file a no cross, which is what they just did recently for my murder case. Like, that's what they do. They like to lock me up, right? Arrest me, arraign me, and then they do that publicly, loud. spectacles, media attention, everything, right? But then when they have to drop the case, they do it quietly. They don't say, oh, we wrongfully arrested this man, we wrongfully convicted this man. So, yeah, I wasn't convicted, but I was arrested and I sat in prison for 3 years until they realized, oh, we have to let him go. And then they quietly let me go when some of the pastors that are out here now trying to act like they support me was trying to say bury me under a prison for that case. And you know, some of the coalitions that was started from that case, a lot of people don't know is the same pastors that's today is like trying to support me, but they don't even realize who I am. So when you ask me about, can I call you Two? Can I call you Joey? You know, a lot of people don't know me as Joey. So when they see me, they don't know that. I just say I'm Joey, right? But then for certain people that is extra, I'd be like, I'm Two from Mission Hill. They'd be like, oh, it changes. And that goes for politicians, professionals, and street people.
Right.
You know?
How was it living with that duality?
I'm saying, it was a time I used to say, I had 2 personalities.
Tell us more, please.
Yeah.
Thank you. I know. So he told me offline he's never sat with a therapist. So I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to make it a full-blown therapy session. But I know for a lot of people, you're not alone in having a duality. Like I'm born and raised in Boston. I've never been. I have a lot of family members who have a dual dynamic, right? Where there's certain parts of their lives that no one would know about because, you know, there's a way I feel like some Black men, not everybody, has had to have that dual existence just to survive. And that's why I brought up nature versus nurture. And if the environments would have been different, right? Certain things, certain decisions they would have never been faced with having to make. Do you agree or disagree? And I think because of that,
I tell people, Two protected Joey. Two was who I had to be when I left the house. Joey, who I was when I was in the house.
And I understand. As a therapist, I understand, right?
The city understands that too.
You know, but we grew up in a very interesting time. You know, the crack epidemic was no joke, right? And a lot of us had no idea what we was dealing with, but it was just a different time. I was saying when my sister was on 2 weeks ago, we had 3 crack houses on our street that we had to pass by just to go to school. Most people's parent or somebody in their family was using drugs or selling drugs. It was just what it was. So I just think that for a lot of individuals, they threw the book at us, like not thinking about all the political stances and everything else that was going on that created those environments that we were growing up in. So I'm glad to see that you are keeping joy in all of this and that you're doing something positive and helping other individuals heal and find a way through. Because like you said, not everybody is able to do that. Some people don't do their time like that. They just don't.
They don't. I agree. You know, my guys are, to me, is special. Like, when I say my guys, like, I had 22 years with these guys. Like, when I say, like, I used to get into situations where I would get myself sent back to maximum security prisons. Like, my guys used to be like, yo, I'm coming back up there so I could be with you. You know what I'm saying? Some of my guys used to literally say, yo, I'm about to get lugs back to the max so I could be with you, you know? And so, like, some of these guys are home now, and, you know, I try to support them as best as I can, you know, and make sure that they know that at the end of the day, like, same way I was there for y'all when we was locked up, I'm gonna be there for y'all when I was out here, and a lot of them get it.
Yeah.
There's a lot more that won't, acknowledge that I took care of them and looked out for them and helped them and got them through and, put commissary on their books and things like that. But there's a great portion of guys that understand and they get it and they support me and they still with me to this day.
Yeah. So this show tonight, right? This is season 9 for me, my chapter 50. You just had a birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. It's just Friday.
Yep, this Friday you just had a birthday. So it's kind of fitting that, you just had a birthday. It's the beginning of Black History Month, which I celebrate my blackness 365 days a year. But the irony, I guess, in some ways, that as people of color, we've always had to remix adversity. We've always had to take trauma and find a way to turn it into purpose and still find ways to still have joy, even when things are not the best, right? You'll see us throw on the music and the grandma sing church music and we don't really have much. So I feel like this isn't anything new for us. But when you think about emotional fitness and you said, Yardtime, and that you would put your headphones on, I kind of figured Yardtime was connected to that. But when you think about that, that's emotional.
You see that? You see?
Yeah.
Oh, you can. I don't know if they can see it, but it's like sure. I'm a
Yeah,
Celtics fan and say Yardtime. It's a hoodie. It's design. Yeah, I'm facts. I'm serious about Yardtime.
Right, but that's emotional fitness. There's a lot of research that shows how important that is. Just like phone calls and physical activity. Again, don't do the time, don't let the time do you, right? All of those type of things. So when you think about emotional fitness, what does that say to you? What do you think about?
Emotional fitness for me right now is bowling. That's what
I
it
did
is.
see you started a bowl.
It is.
You started a
Yeah,
bowling.
we're on our second season. Like, I used to play basketball. Of course, I grew up in Mission. We won all championships, all generations. But so I know. Here we go. Right. That's debatable for a lot of people, but we win. Shout out to my mentors, John Jackson, Chuck Davis, the whole thing. But for me, it was like I can't run up and down the court right now. I don't want to. My body is my money maker, so I got to show up for places, things, and make sure that I'm represented in a nice manner. So next best thing was one day my men's group, we went out bowling, and when I seen the joy in these guys' face just from bowling the ball down the alley, down the lane, it registered for me like, wow, like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? This is therapeutic in ways that people might not understand. But for my guys to be able, after 35, 33, 44, like, I got guys that's been in jail 48 years, 44 years, 36 years, like, for them to come out and then be able to bowl and then, like, to leave out of there with a joy, right? That's what you're saying. Like, that joy. Yeah, I had to make sure we invested in that. Like, we had to make sure it was known. Like, we might not bowl the highest scores, but we there for therapeutic bowling, like, to get out our own way, to get out our heads.
I think that's dope. One of the things I started doing last year is I started doing 5Ks, and there's a lot of science behind why bringing them to bowl. It could have been anything. It could have been roller skating. It could have been basketball. But there's releases of dopamine when you are engaging in something where there's a task and you can complete it, which actually increases your mood. It makes you feel better, puts a smile on your face. That's why we always encourage people to go have a hobby, right? Engage in something that they enjoy. So yeah, there's a lot of science about why that works.
It works.
It works.
It like, so I have, last season we had, because we started now, we're bowling tomorrow actually, so pull up.
Where do you bowl at?
At Boston Bowl.
Okay.
So.
Is this only for men?
Yes.
Okay.
Because
and that's fine.
yeah,
I
no,
just want
no.
to know if I can
Well,
join a team or something.
that's a great segue. So, like, Yardtime is about to collaborate with KTV, and we about to start a women's group that at the end of the women's group that, a lot of women do hit me up like, oh, we want to bowl against the men, and I said, cool, that might be something we can do at the end of the season. And then, further on, we can have a women's bowling league. But right now, I just feel like that's a space for us not to be distracted.
Okay. Well, you said pull up, and I'm a woman, so I had to make sure.
Yeah, It's 48 men there, so yeah, exactly. No, exactly.
That's not for folks.
Exactly.
He meant for other people to pull up.
I meant like men pull up.
Figure of speech, y'all, ladies. I had to clarify, right?
No, because shout out. My homegirls, they've been on my back. Like, we want to come through and bowl. We can beat y'all, and I believe that because we're not the best. But at the end of the season, we like I said, we about to start a women's group that at the end of the season is gonna go for like 6 to 8 weeks. The women's group, and my men's bowling league is for 12 weeks, so we end in April. But at the end of the season, we plan on having co-ed tournament where women can come and bowl that night and have a great time and enjoy the presence of some solid men.
Okay, so that sounds awesome. Now, is it something that you can sign up for at any time, or is it teams already formed? Can you just pull up and join the team like that?
So we initially started on January 12th, and then because of the snowstorm, which last week canceled us, but because of the snowstorm, we starting tomorrow. I figured like for the next 3 weeks, we're just gonna figure out who's gonna show up because it is a 12-week commitment, and if you're not gonna commit to it, I don't want to be wasting this time and slot and all that thing. So, people are welcome to come and see if they want to, do this, but if not,
it's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So pull up on what day?
Monday nights, Boston Bowl, 6:30 to 8:30. Sometimes it be 6:30 to 9:30, depending on how many people show up and how many lanes. But like I said, for the most part, at one time, I think we had like 48, 50 guys there.
That's dope. So here's the thing, right? Black joy is not denial. It is defiance. So I think that in a lot of ways, taking back your power, taking back your smile, and realizing you didn't break me. Simple thing is bowling, right? And having camaraderie is a testament to, I still have my life. That happened to me, but that's not who I am. So I think that's dope that you're doing that.
When I tell you, like, people don't get it. Some people will say to me, like, oh, I didn't know you was doing this. I didn't know you was going to do that. I didn't know that. Like, my favorite saying is, how would you? Never came to visit me. Never wrote me a letter, never picked up a phone call. How could you know any of my ideas? To y'all, these is all new ideas. For me, I've been planning this moment for 22 years.
So I can feel that. So what else did you have but time to think and plan? So there was I've been listening to the 50 Laws of Power by 50 Cent, right? And a lot of people know or don't know that before 50 Cent became Curtis Jackson and doing real estate and all of these other things, he was a corner boy, right? Sold drugs, he was a street guy. He was a menace to society in a lot of ways, right? He has a whole nother past that until you go research him, you might not know. But he talked about treating the corner like it was a job, right? He would go at the same time, he would stay there, he would get off at the same time, but while he was there, he would be thinking about all of the things he wanted to do instead of being there. People don't think about that. A lot of people have visions and goals beyond their circumstances, right? And that's called manifestation, right? A lot of people don't realize that when you're in, they would call it the story of Job or Daniel in the lion's den. And in your worst situation, you actually come up with your best ideas, your biggest dreams, right? But not everybody executes on them. Some people feel like it'll never happen. It's just a dream, right? And they literally allow the world and the environment to make them think that it's impossible because this bad thing happened. Like if they got a scarlet letter on them, you can never achieve that because it's nothing but a criminal. Negative self-talk is real. How did you push through all of that? People thinking you couldn't do it, wasn't going to happen. You're not going to be able to turn this around and create a whole nonprofit. Get all these guys together. How did you push through that? Because I know every day it wasn't always that you could get it done.
I'm looking like a sap, right? Because
Stop it.
Like she's touching on a lot of things that meant a lot to me. So she said 50 Cent, 50 Laws of Power, right? But before 50 Cent, there was a book called 48 Laws of Power, right?
Yes.
By Robert Greene,
That's
who
right.
inspired 50 Cent to write that.
Go ahead now.
And
Tell
look,
them
right?
the history.
And on my arm, right? Y'all can't even see it. I don't know how to get this thing right.
The camera, like
Right.
that little lever.
Okay.
That lever, you can pull it down. Yeah.
All right. So, see, this was one of my first tattoos in prison, and you can see it says 48 laws.
Put your arm up like this. Yes, there you go. Now they can see it.
Right?
All right, so you got the 48 laws on your arm?
Right on my arm. This is one
Now,
of
he
my first
don't-
tattoos,
We
right?
ain't never talked about
Okay,
this.
we ain't never talked
He
about
doesn't
it. No,
even know. This is
no,
all
no.
happening
This
live.
is real talk, right? Like this is number 2, right? Lord, protect me from my friends. Right? I can handle my enemies. 48 laws of power. This is my first tattoo when I walked into the prison system. These ones. And that's crazy that she would mention 50 Cent and the laws of power. So
It's a great book by the 48 Laws is actually an excellent read. He's been saying, he's been talking about what's the movie you said that you watched?
Caesar, Planet of the Apes.
I knew it, but anyways, that movie's also, I think, if I'm not mistaken, related to the Art of War.
It is.
It's related to the Art of War. But these are some books y'all gotta go read, right? But the 48 Laws of Power, like you said, was Robert Greene, and then 50 Cent got with him. And what's dope about it is he converts the 48 laws and applies it to street life and being in the.
And I never
You
read
just
50.
gotta go
I
listen
never
to it. You
never read 50. I never heard the video. I never heard the audio. But like I read 48 Laws of Power.
It'll change your whole way of looking at things.
It prepared me for this moment, these opportunities. Like when I say to y'all, like she touched on something, like you know what I'm saying, like protect me from my friends.
Yeah.
Because your friends are the people that get the closest to you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they'll do you dirty. Right?
Yeah, there was a couple of things I wasn't gonna really, but y'all need to watch the documentary. But I also think it goes back to something which is fear, which they bring up in the 48 Laws of Power, like how fear dictates and can motivate a lot of decisions.
I'd rather be feared than loved because the fear lasts longer.
Mine is respected. I think I shared that with you. I want to be respected at the end of the day. I found that when people respect you, they tend to not do you dirty. People can love you and do you dirty. People can fear you, and when they fear you, they will sometimes harm you or do things because they're scared of you. I just want you to respect me.
Protect me from my friends.
So
I can handle my enemies.
yes. So we talked about, I wanted to talk about trauma, right? Because a lot of people talk about trauma and what trauma is, what it isn't. I feel like anybody who's grown up in the hood, we are constantly traumatized or have experienced something traumatic. So for the sake of what trauma is, it is just something that's deeply distressing. It's a disturbing experience. And when you hear that, then how can we not have been traumatized? So all of us are traumatized.
I did not realize that I was traumatized until like I met a therapist who pointed out my trauma to me.
Great point, because you get to determine whether or not you're traumatized or not. For instance, some people get on a roller coaster and they're traumatized, don't ever want to be on another one again. Somebody else gets on a roller coaster and it's the most exhilarating thing they've ever experienced, right? Put me on it again, right? So at the end of the day, you cannot tell somebody what is traumatizing to them, right? So, and that's where living in the inner city becomes challenging, right? Because we talked about that you said that you could be emotionally detached. We kind of talked about that offline, right? And a lot of people will say that's a traumatic experience, but it's also called compartmentalization. Being able to separate your emotions from something is actually a skill set that helps you to make better decisions. So it's a double-edged sword with that, right? Because it doesn't mean you don't have emotions altogether. It just means that you know how to manage them. What do you think about that?
Emotionally detached. I'm emotionally detached. Like, I guess you're right. Like, I do know how to manage the two. I do, but I come from a place of abandonment.
But you also said your grandmother demonstrated love, so you know what love feels like.
Yeah, but when my grandmother passed away, all my life I dealt with abandonment until I got to my grandmother. But my grandmother could only give me a certain amount of love that was fulfilling. But seeking love from everything else, women, relationships, friendships, never happened the way it did. That's why when I say that my grandmother's love is a love that I don't think I will ever find again. It's because she loved me unconditionally. I don't think nobody can love me unconditionally like she did.
I can feel you on that. But what about your love for your children?
Me and my kids, one of my daughters, we're close. With my other two daughters, we like worlds apart. Like, you know, sometimes I would love for that to happen, but I don't know how to go about that. Like, I don't trust nobody.
Trust. Now, he didn't throw out a now, you know, right now, the show's only like 10 minutes longer. So trust is you got to come back for a part 2 for trust. Because I'm going to just throw out there, you got to be able to trust yourself first and foremost. Do you trust yourself?
I put me first. If I have to choose between me and anybody else, I'm going to choose me first. So I trust myself.
Good.
100%.
And I think that that's where you start. Right? Do you love Joey? Are you emotionally detached from yourself?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Because I know how to separate the two. When I need to be two, I know how to be two. When I need to be Joey, I know how to be Joey. So I'm detached from Joey.
I got you. So Joey is the one that got the feelings.
Very much so.
Gotcha.
Two protects Joey.
Now, this is for another day and another time offline. But I understand exactly what he's saying. The duality of that is a protective factor that comes from being traumatized and abandoned, right? And so as much as we may want to think that these things don't still live with us, they do, right? And so that brings me to my favorite segment, which everybody knows what it is, because if you watch my show, what you do is, what does therapy mean to you, right? And I think, you know, you just opened it up, right? I think not everybody needs a therapist, not everybody needs to go to therapy, but I do think everybody needs self-awareness. And what I admire about you is your self-awareness. That doesn't mean that because you're self-aware that it automatically just goes away, right? And you just get this automatic healing. But what I appreciate is that you found spaces to still have some joy and to navigate it to the best of your ability. Just the fact that you're even expressing any level of emotion.
Honestly, like, let's be honest, like,
you're expressing some emotion on my show, right? So
what people don't know about me, like, you know, shout out to Donnie's too. Donnie's boss, you know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Donnie.
You know what I'm saying? Like, she put me on to something that is called a super patch. And the super patch thing, like, I ain't even a spokesperson for it, but like, I wear it every day. I got it on right now. Like, it relieves me from stress. It relieves me from like aggravation, tension. all that. Like, I didn't think it worked, but it works when I'm put in a situation that forces me to be my old self, and I don't react in my old ways. I knew that there was some growth going on. Like, and I have a therapist that I communicate with, but I only call her quarterly. And what I mean by quarterly is that sometimes it might be a moment where I have a tooth moment, and I know tooth moments will lead me back into prison. So she helped me get back to being Joey and Joseph.
You better talk about it, my brother. As I told you, season 9, y'all, I was bringing real life story, real people. This is no fluff, right? This is real life that we are out here navigating, and I always ask people to just be a little kinder, a little bit more empathetic. You never know what people are walking with, what people have gone through. Try to be a little bit more present with yourself. Because I really think if everybody would just step back and take more control of themselves, the world would be a better place in general, right? It's easy to just project all the time on the other people. I act like this because of you, and I did this because of you. But when do you take control over yourself? So I got much respect. I admire you, and I'm thankful to have this conversation. I think a lot of people need to hear this because this is something that we continue to navigate. I was on a workshop today, How to Slay a Dragon with Rebecca Dupas, and one of the things she shared is that there's over 1,000 thoughts that we have nonstop, and they're not all good, right? And most of these didn't start with us, and all you can do is manage it, right? You can't make it go away. It's not going to go away ever. You will always have both positive and negative. We all got a good and a bad, contrary to popular belief. None of us are just perfect, which is another thing that comes up in 50 Laws of Power, is that sometimes people are bad. Sometimes they are manipulative. Sometimes you do want your get back. Folks don't like to admit they're ugly, their dark side. But everybody, most people, not generalize, most people look into the, most people have a dark side and have a past and have something that they don't want nobody to know. And I think if we all took a step back, we would be less judgmental. And more willing to give people grace. So I'm glad to hear you have a therapist, because I thought you didn't have a therapist. But
no, I do. I just reach out to her quarterly.
Yeah.
She's super dope. Like,
That's what's up.
Shout out to my first therapist in prison, Patricia Murphy. Like, she introduced me to mental health when I was young.
Which we spoke on, but just to reiterate, Yardtime also, one of the missions is to help people with their mental health and to provide that support. So another dope resource, because PTSD is real.
It is.
Trauma is real. So let's jump into my other favorite part, which is let's talk about your bet on supplements. Yeah, so those are those moments in your life where you say, you know what, despite my circumstances, my upbringing, my abandonment issues, who people said I was, I'm going to jump in the driver's seat and write my own story. I'm going to bet on myself. Past, present, future. Tell us about a bet on supplements.
You know my name, but you don't know my story yet.
Talk about it. Trust your ish.
Trust me, I got my own documentary coming. Yeah, y'all seen my uncle's documentary. That was my uncle's documentary. It was a Emmy Award. Shout out to Jason Handler. So I have a documentary coming with Honorable Media. They putting it together. So I'm looking forward to that and telling my story and just making sure people know the difference between Toot and Joseph Bennett.
That's gonna be a dope documentary.
Hey,
you sure you don't want to reach out to 50?
Hey, you're gonna reach out to everybody.
You might need to reach out to 50.
My guy that's the producer, he's the cameraman for KG. So hopefully Kevin Garnett want to do something with that.
Right.
50's good. 50's good. Yeah, but
there's a bunch of other people.
And it definitely is. Like, honestly, it's people that can do things that can put it together the way I need to put it together. Like I said, 50's a great guy, but he demands loyalty that you know,
Yeah, we gotta
don't cross him.
Well, we see it. Somebody wrote he's the most inspirational and notorious person right now at the same time.
100%.
And again, I invite y'all to go, read his 50 Laws of Power. You get a better understanding on how his mind works.
It's ruthless out here in this world, so he just understood that early on, like, and it's crazy because my younger brother Warren, he put me on the 50 back in 03 when they had all the G Unit tapes, and I was incarcerated. I never knew nothing about him. So to see where he's at today, like, it's also motivational and inspirational because anybody can come from the bottom and climb up. If you have a plan and you put that plan together and you implement it and you see it through, it's gonna happen. And that's what I'm doing with Yardtime. Like, nobody didn't know what Yardtime was. If you look at my interview when I first got out of the courthouse, the first thing out my mouth was Yardtime. Nobody didn't know what that was. Yardtime.
I think I actually attended one of your cookouts earlier on in Franklin Park.
Yes.
Yep. Way back.
And we about to start doing cookouts for around September on my grandmother's anniversary of the street naming. We about to start doing block parties, bringing it back to my old neighborhood where we're walking off the streets and things like that, where we're gonna honor my grandmother. Every first week of September, it might not fall on September 6th, but every first week of September, where we're gonna honor my grandmother and do block parties in my old neighborhood and continue to support Mission Hill projects.
I love that. That's super dope. So our final segment is Coach's Corner, and this is just an opportunity for us to really think about what we want the audience to lead with, and we're gonna have to do the station ID real quick, and then we'll come back for Coach's Corner. But this is just an opportunity. Here we go. Yes. So thank you for everybody. Give y'all a quick shout out. Instagram right now, y'all are popping. I see y'all on there. Shout out to DL. I see you on the check-in. Appreciate all y'all.
Shout out to DL. What up, DL?
DL's on there.
Yeah, come to get my sweatshirt.
You should be able to see the people on there on your side too. So iHeartRadio, Boston has Black Radio. Thank y'all. Y'all rock out with me every week. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Appreciate y'all joining this very important virtual couch. Because, as I just said, Coach's Corner is just a moment for us to think about what we want people to take away from this. There's so many people in our community that are struggling, that are in pain, that are dealing with trauma, abandonment, that are emotionally detached, trying to navigate how to do that and still find joy, find love, date. I mean, it's just real, right? Like, I need to protect myself, but I also still want to feel and be connected, but not too much, right? It's a dance. But what do we want? What do you want people to take away from this conversation? What is, for those that might be listening that's still behind the walls or just recently got out, just what do you want? What do you want to tell them?
For my guys that's behind the wall, first and foremost, keep your head up. Like, when I didn't have no hope, I found hope somewhere, somehow. You gotta find that joy and that hope. And for the people right now that's watching this interview, judge me for who I am, not for what you heard, not for what you may have seen on social media, but get to know me and then figure out from there how to connect with me, because I'm genuinely a good person. I have my flaws, but I don't have no weaknesses. And I try to make sure that my flaws are not exhibited as much as my strengths. So, connect with me, figure out how we can connect and support each other, because I like to support everybody that's coming from Boston. So,
I love that. What we know, right, is that by consistently engaging in joy rituals, right, self-care, holding space, and taking care of yourself does help you reduce stress. it does help you improve your mood and your mental health. Here's the thing, it's not going to make everything go away, right? But similar to people who use weed, sex, shopping, travel, narcotics, right? All that stuff is temporary too, believe it or not, right? It's all chasing something to help you manage pain, reduce pain, but it never goes away. So I invite people to try other rituals, try other things that can be just as addictive. Going to the gym, bowling, 5Ks. It actually really does a lot of the same stuff. It's just that, again, environment, right? You know, when you were sad or upset, somebody was like, rolled up a blunt and passed it to you. Or said, hey, try this crack, it'll make you feel better. Or let's go have a drink. If you think about these things are introduced into our lives to help us cope. Imagine if we had people introducing other things into our lives to help us cope. So just replace it. Trust me, I know it sounds hard and people don't understand, but at the end of the day, this life is not easy, right? I don't know why we thought it would be, right? I don't know what Kool-Aid we drank that said life was supposed to be easy, because it's just not, right? It's definitely a trial, error, and something we got to figure out how to navigate. So I will say that joy is not accidental. It's an intentional, emotional maintenance. It is a choice, right? Because you could also choose to be angry, mad, and go fresh stuff. So you can choose. It is your choice on how you want to respond to trauma and abandonment. All right. Anything else you want to share with them, Mr. Joey?
I mean, like you just said, there was a time when I thrived in chaos. I still thrive in chaos, but good chaos, not negative chaos. Because for me, dealing with mental health, I don't like structure. I've been under structure all my life. At 52 years old, I don't have a justice system to answer to, because that's where all my structure came from. So.
Yeah. So here's some homework for y'all. You know, I know some of y'all don't like homework, so take that word loosely, right? But here's what I would like for you to do, is to start believing you are worthy of joy, even when the system tells you otherwise. Choose daily practices that help you regulate your nervous system. Trust me, working out, journaling, poetry, because y'all know I'm big on poetry. Find some outlets that are positive, that if you chose to be addicted to them, there wouldn't be a negative outcome of you doing so. And remember, your legacy is built in your patterns, not your promises. Legacy isn't what you leave for people, it's what you leave in them. So thank you for joining us on this episode of Conversations with Coach La. Hope you've enjoyed this virtual couch, and I hope I see you back here next week. Thank you, Mr. Joey Bennett, for your time, your attention, your vulnerability. And thank you for not being emotionally detached tonight. You know, you opened up and you allowed people to see a different side of you. Can you allow people, tell people where to find you? I have your email and your Instagram.
Instagram, Yardtime. I think it's Yardtime Inc.
Yes.
Facebook, Joseph Bennett. It's Yardtime.org on Facebook. www.yardtimeent.org on every other platform. But I'm here.
Absolutely.
Find me. I'm not hard to find.
No, he's not. Just Google him. Shout out to my sister. Shout out to Opal. I appreciate y'all. Give some shout outs. Who else is on here? I see Shizzy on here. I'm trying to see Zenith. I see y'all. Thank you. My brother Takeover Photography. Thank you for checking in. Tyrone, what's up? Thank you for tuning in. And yeah, so I'll see y'all next week. If you're looking for a therapist, I'm currently accepting new clients. I have 2 therapists on my team. So if you don't want to see me because you feel like, you know, coach, I got 2 other female therapists, black female therapists that are very
We're all the male therapists. That's what I've been trying to get. That's what I've been trying to get for Yardtime group members, because we can be a little aggressive and assertive, so we scare off some of these normal therapists. There's therapists that say, oh yeah, we're going to work with all. They don't work with Yardtime. I'm sorry.
Well, it's okay. I appreciate you, but I think I'm up for the task. And Corey Williams is an excellent male therapist that I can connect you with. You can Google him, and he's also on Psychology Today. And as I keep telling y'all every week, I am actively recruiting therapists. If you are a therapist that just recently graduated from school, or you're looking for supervision hours and you are a male, please come see me. I've already successfully helped one. His name is Corey Williams. If you need a reference to see how good I am as a supervisor and as a mentor, but talk to me. Let's get you into the field, even part-time. Take 1 or 2 clients while you have a full-time job. I can show you how to start your own practice. So thank you again, Joey. Shout out to my Urban Heat family. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for the Morning Cafe. We're signing out on this virtual couch. I'll see y'all next week. Good night.
Nancy, Smokehouse. It's the Urban Heat. Shout out to Coach Live.